Yes guys, welcome to a new podcast. Today we have a very special guest. He did more than 6 million with e-commerce, he did more than 4 million with advertising on Pinterest. His students did more than 12 million in sales with Pinterest. He is the Dutch Pinterest dropshipping Pinterest king. His name is Thomas. Thomas, please introduce yourself.
My name is Thomas. Thank you for the introduction. I'm 25 years old, doing e-commerce. Mainly known for advertising on Pinterest. Of course, I also use other channels, but that's what I do. I have e-commerce stores, dropshipping stores, brands. I have a course on Pinterest ads. I teach students how to do this. I also recently launched the software. That's what I mainly do.
Yeah, man, bro. So we know each other for 3 years, and Thomas. I think a lot of people, if you typed in Pinterest dropshipping, everybody you would just see Thomas Mulder, Thomas Mulder, Thomas Mulder. He teaches the whole Netherlands and Belgium Pinterest and taught a lot of students also internationally. Bro, I'm very curious. We met each other 2 years ago at a live event. How did you start with e-commerce? Because I know you first worked at a factory.
That's right.
And how did you start? You saw some ads on the internet, or?
So how I got into e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's better to go a little bit back before that. I actually started a business as an online personal trainer.
Okay.
So started with that basically from I did an internship at a company that had sort of a dropshipping store actually already back then. I just a little bit learned about e-commerce and how to use WordPress and a little bit about blogging, and that was when I was doing a study. I realized I wanted to start my own business, and I was really into fitness back then, so I started an online personal training sort of fitness blog. I was trying to do blogging. I was watching YouTube videos on how to do blogging and literally just every day typing blogs in Dutch, so it was a Dutch blog.
Okay.
And that's what I decided to do. Basically after my study was done, so I gave myself a year to work on this. I was also still working in a factory, and I worked there for 7 or 8 years.
So in a factory?
Yeah, since I was 15 years old. It was a cheese factory in the Netherlands.
Yeah, toch.
So I started working there, of course, part-time when I was still in school, and then I also worked there for a year, sort of full-time, which made me realize I don't want to have a 9-to-5 job, which actually it was 7 to 5. But then started to do a study again. When the study was done, I wanted to do the online personal training. I wanted to become like the sort of fitness influencer, and I was teaching people about fitness and food and health, and learned a lot on health because I was making these blogs, and wasn't making any money.
Okay, no worries.
Pretty much zero. And then part-time still working at the factory, and then about a half year in, I came across an ad, and it was about dropshipping.
Yeah.
And the fun thing is, I already heard about dropshipping like a couple of years before that. So that was probably 2016 maybe. Then I remember telling to a friend, I'm going to do this, and I wish I did back then.
Ooh. So
then
if you started then,
so easy to sell online.
Street Lambo.
Yeah. But 2018, late 2018, I came across an ad of a guy, Joshua, everybody knows him in the Netherlands, with Dropship Academy. I was running out of money, but still decided to invest 1,000 euros in the course. I saw other people being successful with dropshipping, and back then you had like the 10K club. You probably remember that because you guys were in the same course, and I saw people hitting like 10K in sales in a month. So I set that goal for myself to do that. I remember specifically setting that goal for March 2019, and that's when I hit the goal as well. So,
Okay.
and that was like, I started advertising in December, so that was like 3 months in.
It's fast.
With a break, because you had Chinese New Year in January back then. Maybe you guys remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
January.
I think we just advertised, but we didn't make
I
any sales.
quit
So
for
yeah.
like a month, and then I started advertising again in February, mid-February, and immediately like found like 2 products that started to pick up, and I think I quit my job like 2 or 3 months later already. I wasn't even
So
like looking back. I was barely making any money.
Break even.
Yeah.
And you went all in.
But still, I went all in. I thought, all right, I'm making a lot of money now. But yeah, since March, just kept like growing really fast. I think the month after we did like I think around 50K.
So
In the 4th month, I think we did over 100K.
so
Yeah, took off pretty fast.
do you also want to share
Okay.
maybe your first winning products?
So yeah, I actually made a video about this, like showing the store. I started off with a niche store in the airsoft niche.
yeah.
Yes.
And most people from Netherlands, I think, well, from back then, they probably remember the store.
Yeah.
That's the store that did 1 million in the first year.
So
So
And if you like literally from the start, it was like maybe 3/4 of a year, but yeah. So I started with an airsoft store, and the first products that started to pick up, I know one was like a military watch,
okay.
and the other one,
Also the shoe. Did you make a lot of money with the shoe?
that was later.
Okay.
That was
okay.
later. That was that. Probably everyone knows is probably the unbreakable
The
shoe.
unbreakable shoe.
Sold a lot of
yeah.
that. Got a lot of returns.
Okay.
For that product as
Okay,
well,
okay.
but
Did
still,
you use them?
still. Hmm?
did you use them?
No, they were nice though. They were nice shoes, but yeah. I don't know. I can't remember the other product, but it was a product related to like the airsoft niche.
Okay.
So it was a product that was pretty popular for the airsoft niche. So those were the 2 that started to pick up, and then eventually I just started advertising like all
Yeah.
different kinds of products.
Yeah,
So it was still called like the same name. So I called it airsofty.nl,
Yeah.
and eventually actually changed the name and ended up selling the store.
Oh,
You
so,
sold- you
did you
sold
sell
the
the store, bro?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
I sold multiple stores.
Oh, serieus, bro? Okay.
Oh, that's something we never did. Maybe we should have done that.
Okay, and Thomas,
Yeah.
after 4 months, you became successful. What was really the thing, how you succeeded so fast?
Because
Because in
we
4
did
months-
we did 9 months for 5 sales. You did 4 months for 50K in sales, and then you were one of the first in the Netherlands who were doing like 100K a month. You were one of the first.
I don't think one of the first. Well, maybe like top 10, but there's always guys under the
Yeah,
radar
yeah,
that
of
we
course,
don't
of
know.
course.
But yeah. Well, I always say like, because like I said, I set that goal in March,
Mhm.
and I don't know, for like compared to the blogging thing, I was just looking on YouTube to find strategies that work. And if you just use YouTube like as a source to get information, you get a lot of different information. So there's not like one proven strategy. But when I bought the course, I was like surrounded by people. I was going to the weekly coachings. I had like the coachings. I did a couple one-on-one coachings from the coaches in that course as well. And those were people like who were actually doing this, so they knew what the right strategy was. And I don't know, for some reason when I bought that course, I saw other people do it, and I saw that those people were just normal people, like truck drivers. Or not-
Working at Aldi or Lidl.
yeah, like not super intelligent people. So I thought, well, if they can do this, then I can probably do this too. So not to sound arrogant, but yeah, that's what I thought. Like if they can do it, then I can probably do this as well. And then I set the goal for March, and just also got into personal development a lot. Like also when I started the fitness business, started reading a lot, like meditating. I was already meditating before that, but I got a lot more into like the success part of self-development. So I was doing like the affirmations, the visualizations, and just focused on that 10K in March, like laser focus, and everything I did was to get to that goal. no matter if it was through dropshipping or the fitness business, because I was still doing that at the side. And I remember in December, actually, I had to sell my PlayStation, like I shared. So yeah, I had to sell my PlayStation because I didn't have a lot of money anymore. We're able to buy new ads eventually because of that.
For how many euros did you sell your PlayStation?
Probably a couple, not even a couple hundred.
200 or something?
I think not even. I'm not sure.
Oh shit.
Because a PlayStation is not that expensive.
No.
I think.
This was in December 2019, right?
18.
18, okay.
Yeah,
We're
18.
in December 2018 right now in this
Yes.
moment.
Yeah. So then with Chinese New Year, of course, so I wasn't selling, so I was actually focused back on the fitness business because my plan was to make enough money from dropshipping to use that money to build the fitness business because that was still like the plan to help people get in shape, and I just really wanted to help people. That was like the main reason why I got into business, and but yeah, still laser focused, and just like the visualizations and the belief that I was able to do that, I think that was the key. And then of course do the necessary work, because basically from when I started the fitness business, I was working every day.
Yes,
like,
because maybe it's also good to say, because it sounds now okay, it went smooth at you within 4 months, 50k or something, but maybe a lot of people don't know you, but all the people who know you are, well, Thomas Mulder, he is working always, every day, 7 days a week. So yeah, it's not just a luck or something, you worked super hard for it. And I know you're making days 12 hours a day or something. You're working a lot, Thomas.
Yeah.
Also, I think what's nice to say is, I'm just curious, did you also connect with a lot of other dropshippers, or because you went to the weekly coachings? That was very smart. We didn't do that in the beginning because we were young and we were insecure and we were afraid that nobody would want to help us because we didn't have any success. That's total BS.
Yeah.
But it's very smart that you went to the groups coaching and that you invested for a couple of one-on-one sessions. We also did that and it helped us a lot. But did you also connect with other dropshippers in the beginning, or most on your own?
Not really. No, I was like next to the groups coachings and then the one-on-one coachings. Maybe a couple messages on Facebook, but next to that, no. I was just, for me, I was just first at my my room at home, just working, grinding, and then at some point my dad also has a business. No, I didn't get any of his money before people think that. I made my own money, but he had a spot there, and I was just like a monk, just with my hat on,
next to your dad, so
techno in, and just
techno,
working.
Nice, man. So I'm also curious, Thomas, because yeah, you did a lot. You did 6 million with e-commerce so far, and also 4 million with Pinterest. If you go a little further, how did you start with Pinterest? Because you learned literally, you were the first Pinterest course in Netherlands, and before, yeah, after 1-2 years, Facebook just frustrating blogs. Everybody was looking for something new, and there was Alex Fedotov with a bit of Pinterest. There were some Pinterest videos,
Not a lot.
but there weren't a lot of guys with success on Pinterest. Only Alex Fedotov. How did you decide to start with Pinterest? Because you were one of the first in the whole Netherlands.
Yeah. So I started with Pinterest early 2020.
Yeah.
So after 2019, when that's when I hit like my first million in sales on one store specifically.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So then at the end of the year, so I hit it like in December, late December, so right before for the end of the year, and I don't know. Back then, like I already knew, all right, what I'm doing right now is not a long-term game, and also I wasn't really fulfilled, and I already started to get some problems here and there with Facebook, some blogs here and there. Not like in 2020, but I definitely experienced blocked ad accounts. So moments where I was doing like 5k a day, and then all of a sudden I was literally doing nothing. So I realized, right, if I continue like this, and Facebook is probably going to continue to ban more and more, and it's going to get harder and harder to stay consistent and build a real business around this. When at the beginning of 2020, I sort of was like, all right, what am I going to do? And I still continued with the dropshipping thing, but I think somewhere maybe starting off the second quarter, I got into Pinterest as well. Also, just because I was looking for alternatives, so I was looking for Google ads maybe and all the other things, and then I don't know, Pinterest ads just felt like it was a new opportunity to me, and then I found out Alex Fedotov actually getting some good results, and I saw some other stores on Pinterest getting some good results, so that's how I got into it, and that's when I started with it, and took quite a while before I figured out to use the right strategy. Lost quite some money on Pinterest. Of course, I was still doing Facebook ads back then, so I was able to cover it. But I was just sort of half focusing on Facebook, half focusing on Pinterest, because I knew that at some point Facebook was going to come harder and harder.
Well, when did you exactly start at Pinterest? April 2020?
Somewhere around that.
And when did you?
That's really early, guys.
That's really early, yes, guys.
Pinterest was back then a secret.
Yeah.
Yes. And when did you start booking results with Pinterest?
This was probably around July or August.
3-4 months. And what was the reason? What was the game-changing factor that made you come up with your new strategy? Made you come up making money with Pinterest?
Yeah.
Because you invented all the strategies. Everybody was teaching Pinterest coaching, all the videos we made about Pinterest. We learned everything from Thomas, and also every Pinterest coach now in the Netherlands or everywhere, it is or from Alex Fedotov or from you.
Yeah. So I started with Pinterest ads myself, just like because it is pretty similar to Facebook. Like if you know Facebook ads, then you can figure out Pinterest ads on your own, like setting up a campaign and doing everything. And then of course I just literally did what I did on Facebook, tried that as first, but that didn't work out. So then I decided to invest into Alex Fedotov's course. Also didn't work out for me. Not to bash his strategies, but I was mainly focused on selling in Europe, and did some selling in the US, but mainly focused in Europe, and his strategy was more focused on like the one product store approach in the US, so that's like a completely different game. Started using his strategies, just started to test things on my own, probably spent like over 20k, lost over 20k just trying to figure out the right strategies, and then I don't know, I just continued doing it because I saw other stores that were able to sell. It's kind of the same as with like the mindset that I had, like other people are able to do the 10k, so I should be able to do this. Same with Pinterest, I saw other stores running well on Pinterest ads, so I figured there must be a way, and then I started to slowly create my own strategies and really learning more and more about the algorithm, about the users, about what Pinterest is, how Pinterest works, how their algorithm works, their optimization and everything, and then at some point I slowly started figuring out
the golden strategy.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
So maybe about the golden strategy, Thomas. If you're watching off of Pinterest, maybe somebody is not making money on Pinterest. What are your best tips on Pinterest? Test low budget, test a lot of products.
Yeah, so depending on like what you're doing right now, if you're dropshipping, of course, testing a lot of products, no matter what platform you're on, that's always like an important thing of dropshipping. So that's definitely one thing that you should do if you're starting out with dropshipping. The reason that the people that are not successful with dropshipping, the only reason they're not successful is because they quit before they found their winner. Don't quit until you find your winner. Like, it's that easy. But next to that, of course, you also need to use the right strategy. And if you maybe already have a brand or already have a dropshipping store, like my main tip would be to, like you said, use a low budget. There's no need to spend a lot of money on Pinterest because the platform is the cheapest platform to advertise on. Like CPM is lowest, the clicks can be extremely low cost. So you don't have to spend a lot of budget to get data. And from the data, of course, you need to use the right strategy and know what to do. But yeah, that's the most important tip. Use a low budget and give it time to optimize.
Okay,
Nice.
and bro, you made the transition from Facebook advertising to Pinterest. What do you like the most about Pinterest advertising?
So I think a lot of people that advertise on Pinterest, they can agree that it's very chill, like very
Yeah.
relaxed. There's no banned ad accounts. Not like, for example, with TikTok where you constantly have to add new creatives, find new products. Like products can work consistently for a very long time. Also, like the costs are extremely low. So for me personally, I was making a lot more profit starting with Pinterest. Like my average ROAS, my average profit margin, everything increased on Pinterest. So yeah, it's for me. It's the only downside is that it's a little bit smaller. So the audience is a little bit smaller, but you can still make. We've done over 30K a day just from Pinterest. So yeah.
And also, I'm just curious, maybe, I don't know if it works well, products, maybe old winners, if you're gonna test on Pinterest, will it work? Or maybe, because what we saw is products that work on Pinterest well, usually if you advertise them also on Facebook, they also will work there well, sometimes. Did you hit big revenue with old winners of yours?
Yeah. Not necessarily old winners that I used on Facebook, but old winners in general.
Yeah.
I sold like products that you don't expect to sell well on Pinterest and made like over 100K in profit with some products that was like. There's a lot of opportunity on Pinterest. Of course, right now there are some more advertisers than when I started back in 2020, but still I see myself and my students make profit with classic dropshipping.
Man.
So you can definitely test the old winners because you can find like an old winner that is already saturated on Facebook that can still perform really well on Pinterest.
Nice, man. So I'm also curious, Thomas, because ecom changed our life. You started also in 2018. In November 2018, you made your first ads in December 2018. We're now almost 4 years further. What is the most crazy thing you did with e-commerce? Maybe a mastermind or something, or what is one of the nicest things you ever did because of the e-com journey? Because with e-commerce you make money, you go to Dubai, you go to masterminds, you are young, you have money. One of the most crazy things you did.
I must say I didn't do a lot of crazy things. Of course I went to Dubai 2 times already by now, so I really like Dubai, and I think the vibe is great there, just meeting more like-minded people and seeing the opportunities there, so that's definitely up there in the most, in my best experiences thanks to e-commerce. But just for me personally, it's more just the freedom, not even, and I choose to work a lot, and that's because I like working what I'm working on, and I have my own goals. But that's what I choose to spend my time on mostly. But still, I like to be able to travel. And last year when we went to Barcelona, of course, also was very fun. So I don't have like a supercar or anything. I just like to work on my goals, invest into my business, and next to that, travel every now and then.
Okay, so Bo, what is your biggest achievement so far? You did a lot of nice things, but with ecom, what has it brought you? What are your biggest achievements?
So right now, I think the biggest achievement is definitely like the students that I have right now, and the success of the students, because that's why I started in the first place. I started the fitness business because back then I just hated how things were marketed, how people were basically manipulated into buying stupid fitness things that they don't really need. And people, like, we know that if we eat too much, we'll be fat. But there's people out there that don't even know that. Like they don't even know, like, if you consume too much calories, you're gonna become fat. They literally don't know that, and that's purely because things are marketed to them and they're not being educated. So that's why I started in the first place. I just wanted to make people aware, right, you can be healthy and it's really not that hard. You just need to know what you need to do. And that's why I started in the first place, because I wanted to help people, and that has never changed. Like I always knew that when I started with e-commerce, I would just use that money to help more people. And right now, that's through
We have
the Freecom movement.
Freecom movement
I
was-
just try to help as many people like being able to do what I do, because e-commerce for me changed like my complete life, and for you guys as well. Like,
Yeah, man.
the perspective that we have on life right now, we're able to think in opportunities and possibilities, and I just want to help people achieve that freedom as well. And I think what I already did right now, we have over 600 students right now in the course, so helping them just is I think that's the biggest achievement.
Nice.
so
Okay.
far.
So I'm also curious, Thomas, because now it's Pinterest. You also have your YouTube channels, Thomas Mulder. We will also put a link down in the description. Surely check it. Also, if you want to learn about Pinterest, just type in Pinterest dropshipping. You will see Thomas Mulder. So no worries about that.
Free, by the way, all free videos.
All free,
Yeah.
everything free. I'm also curious, Thomas. You're now helping everybody learning Pinterest. You learned a lot of Pinterest. Do you maybe know the next step? What you will do? What will Thomas do in the 5 years? How will he help people? Fitness influencer, maybe?
No. The fitness, it's not really my passion anymore. Of course, I still like going to the gym and working out, and but more just for health reasons. And I've gained a little bit of a different perspective on health and fitness as I had back then. But that's not my main focus. Of course, I still like motivating people to be healthy. But in 5 years, I just want to continue doing what I'm doing and help as many people as possible, and really, like it says, create a movement, like making more people aware what is possible, and that they don't have to go to school and live the ordinary life. And I just want to have like a real movement and really inspire more people. And I think in 5 years I can probably, or hopefully, inspire like thousands and thousands of people, and make them being able to live the life that I live. That's
Okay, well,
that's what
it's
I wanna
working a
do.
lot. Okay, so Thomas, like you just said, if you go to the beginning of dropshipping, you became so fast successful because you went to the weekly groups coachings, but you also invested a lot. You also invested a lot in yourself. What kind of investments have you made? How many courses have you bought? It was about Pinterest, and what is the best investment you ever made?
Best investment I ever made.
Yeah, man.
Well, the best investment is probably the one with the biggest ROI. And I think like the best investment with the biggest ROI is the first investment that you make in yourself, probably, where you change and start working on yourself in your business. So that would probably be like maybe it's the first course, the Dropship Academy course.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like what happened from there,
Whoa.
the ROI is very, very big.
Yeah.
So that would probably be the best investment. I think
Okay.
the best investment is always an investment in yourself.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I'm also curious, Thomas. Ik heb eigenlijk niks te zeggen.
Bro, Thomas, you're the Pinterest king. Thomas is the Pinterest dropshipping king. He teaches the whole Netherlands and Belgium about Pinterest, and also he's doing giving away a lot of nice Pinterest value on YouTube. But what is your biggest Pinterest secret that you normally wouldn't tell somebody,
Well,
but in this podcast you will tell?
Or what is your biggest business secret? Because you're doing very well, Thomas.
Yeah.
You still live in the Netherlands, but you don't need to live here. You can live wherever you want.
Yeah.
What is your biggest business tip? What is your biggest Pinterest tip? Because if you look in general, you are a very successful entrepreneur.
My biggest tip for Pinterest, I think it depends on like where you are in your business, but biggest tip, secret, probably to I think test a lot, even like if we're really looking like going next level, and not just for a beginner to be able to make some money, because I think that's relatively easy. Like if you just follow the strategy, then everybody can do this. But to go really next level is to really build a system around what you do on Pinterest as well. Not necessarily like that. There are some strategies in Pinterest that no one knows that we use, or at least only the advanced students know. So obviously not going to share that here because I just want to keep them
Yeah,
secret.
I
But
understand.
and it's not like a secret. It's everyone's possible to do it, but you just have to know how to do it. But
What's the
over-
best Pinterest tip you can give?
let me think. So next to that, probably would be just like I said, build a system around Pinterest. So for example, if you're dropshipping, make sure that you build a system on what you're currently doing that works, so that you have more time to do more of that. And
Okay.
if that makes sense, like and maybe that's for business as well in general. Like if you have a business that's making money, look for a way to automate that and do more of that what's already working. So in a dropshipping business, for example, that will be test more products. If you figure out like, all right, if I test 40 products and I know maybe 10 of those will be profitable and one of those will be a big winner, then if I know those stats, all I have to do is test more products, and then I will have more winning products, and therefore I will scale and make more money.
Okay.
So find a way to do that, and that's obviously by building a team, building a system, and that's just a general business tip, which also applies for Pinterest.
Okay, so once you have something that works, duplicate it, guys. So, bro, Thomas, besides Pinterest, you have Snapchat, TikTok is upcoming, okay, Facebook, we have it. Bro, what do you think? What is the best advertising platform besides Pinterest? What do you?
Maybe do you still do Facebook or do you do something else?
Yeah, we still do Facebook, TikTok, Google, so
Okay.
we do it all. Right now, I'd say the biggest opportunity next to Pinterest probably is TikTok. But there are some downsides when it comes to advertising on TikTok. Like if we compare it to Pinterest, and it's not to sort of advertise for Pinterest. Like I know a lot of guys that make a lot of money on TikTok as well, so that's also a great platform. Same for Facebook, same for Google. They work all, but with TikTok, for example, the algorithm just seems to be not working as well as Facebook or
Okay.
Pinterest. So it's a little bit more of a wild west and more luck involved. Also, the campaigns die out a lot quicker, and you have to be making new ads, and it's a lot more intense. So that's the downside. But still, I believe like once TikTok figures out how to
Yeah.
make a good algorithm and you find a way to really be consistent on TikTok, I think that platform is just going to continue to grow and therefore also has a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
So maybe the last question, also a nice question, is because we also have a lot of dropshippers who are watching on this channel. What is your best dropshipping tip in general? If you would start again from zero, from scratch, how would you do it?
How would I do it? Well, actually, I have done it recently because I built a store for recording the new Pinterest Mastery course, and I built a store there, and I wasn't planning on actually selling with that store, but that store ended up making sales, so I ended up scaling that store. So
Strategies work, guys.
and that's like I basically did everything myself on there, but of course we're in 2022 right now, and back in 2018 we could sell almost anything. through
Anything you
dropshipping.
will make money
And
with watches.
Things have changed, and overall, like I think the best tip is to first of all make sure you find, if you're going to invest, which is definitely one thing that you should do, invest into a course or invest into a mentor. Like if you don't do that, it's going to take, if you're not lucky, it's going to take a long time, and for most people it's probably going to take a long time. So first of all, do that, and if you find a mentor or a course, make sure it's up to date. Like make sure you find someone or a course that is actually still doing what you're being taught, and that's the first tip, because many people still teach the strategies from 2018. And,
Oh shit,
I think I was talking about the tip for beginners to
Yes.
start dropshipping.
Investing
Make
yourself.
sure you find a course or a mentor or my free YouTube videos, whatever, or from someone else that are active right now. That's it.
Whoa, nice. And Thomas,
Just do that.
we also know Thomas. You're a little more. You also meditate from the beginning. Some really successful entrepreneurs they meditate, and some really successful entrepreneurs they don't meditate. What has brought meditation for you? Why do you like it so much?
So I started meditating before I started doing business, which I think is at least like from most people that I know is kind of unique, because most people they get into business then they get into self-development. I actually got in before that, and for me meditation when I started, and maybe that's just for me. I don't know how it is for someone else, but for me, at some point, because I'm quite consistent with the meditation, and when I started, I was also quite consistent. At some point, it just felt like I had like sounds maybe like a bit too spiritual. I had like a sixth sense that I was always asleep, and now I finally woke up and realized, wait, I actually have control over my thoughts. I don't have to feel bad. I choose to feel bad. So that's what's like the most important thing. I always suggest people to meditate.
Thank you, man. And also, I'm really curious, because you also read a lot, and we got a book from you also, Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. I'm reading it now, and it is a very good book. Thank you, bro. You're reading now for 2-3 years, maybe business books.
Yeah.
So you also had some gems in it. Do you maybe want to share, if somebody wants to read 2-3 of your favorite books?
So business books or books in general?
Books in general.
50 Shades.
50 Shades.
I actually never read that. So Tony Robbins, that's for me. It's funny because I talked, I think this week, to someone about books, and it's almost always like the first book that you read for most people is the one that's most memorable. So for me that was Awaken the Giant Within. I actually before that I read like it's called the 7 Principles of Persuasion.
From Stephen Covey.
Something with persuasion.
Cialdini.
Cialdini. Yeah. So I read that before that, but that was more because I was sort of into psychology. So I read that a long time before that with kind of different perspective. But the first book when I was starting to do business and self-development was Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within.
Okay.
And that for me just felt like when I was reading that, felt like everything clicked. Like,
oh, that's deep for the first time, man.
How your brain works and how your life works, like everything is explained so clearly in there, and how you can take control and you need to take action. So that's definitely number one. Then for me, I think either Think and Grow Rich or Becoming Supernatural from Joe Dispenza.
Oh, nice one, yes.
Those two, I think, is more of the practical side of spirituality.
And if you would just want to start, if you never read a book, maybe an easy book like Rich Dad Poor Dad or Think and Grow Rich is an easy one, or
Think and Grow Rich, I think it's an easy one. I think Becoming Supernatural is a little bit harder.
Yeah, and also Awaken the Giant Within for your first time. It's deep, man.
It's deep, boys.
It's deep, yeah. And I don't know, because for me, when the first thing I read was Awaken the Giant Within, so for me I think like that maybe that's because I was sort of into psychology already a bit, but one that's a little bit more easier. One that I like to give away as well is the 7 Principles of Success by Deepak, I think. It's
You
like
also gave it to us.
The small book.
Small
Book. It's just a very easy book with just a couple rules, but all very important when you want to have success. So that's one that's really easy to read. It's a small book. I think that's perfect one to start reading. And Think and Grow Rich is also a great one to get started on.
Okay, bro. I want to thank you for this podcast.
Yeah, man.
Where can people follow you, Thomas?
YouTube, Instagram. I want to start with TikTok as
TikTok?
well.
TikTok, guys.
I have a
Everywhere.
TikTok account. I don't know if you can find it somewhere.
So,
okay, guys.
But
So
YouTube
if you want to learn about Pinterest, check his YouTube channel. Thomas has learned the whole Netherlands and Belgium Pinterest. He has a Dutch course. He has an English course. He offers one-on-one Pinterest coaching.
He has a lot of great value free on YouTube, guys. All the social links will be popped right here and will be in the description down below. And I want to thank you for watching and have an amazing day.
Thanks for having me.
Ciao, ciao.